rapid corn on the cob, or you just like stuff your face with cheese. I just think that'd be so cool, and you wash it down with a beer. You know, um, I just think that's awesome. Start. Recording has started. Cool. Well, I guess we'll see how that works. Let me turn down the game volume a little bit. Audio game down. Okay. Cool. Cool. I guess I'll sync on the start new player. Now I'm debating whether to turn the light off, and I think I'm going to, actually. Alright, lights off. Atmospheric conditions are nominal, Captain. Alright. I haven't synced yet, have I? No. Alright. Sync. Add-ons, demos, saves, options, quit. Alright. Hey, everybody. It's your boy. Me. Today, or tonight, rather, I'm gonna be playing a little bit of Gary's mod. Just sandbox mode. Nothing fancy. Just having a mess around. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. And we might end up switching like halfway through to something else if I can't find anything interesting to do. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually playing on my girlfriend's computer, so I don't have any add-ons or anything. It's all vanilla, so we might have to nip out into the menu, download some add-ons while we're at it. But vanilla gives you a little bit to work with. Like here's a dresser, for example, and a gun. Boom. Gary's mod. Gary's mod is a special kind of game. Not many games like it out there. It's kind of sandbox for sandbox sake, you know. And it's a good bit of fun. So what to do in Gary's mod? Well, there's nothing really specifically. I guess we'll just mess around and try and build something interesting. And maybe talk about a few things while we're here. So, no pressure, no worries. I'm recording on my girlfriend's computer, like I said, because she's asleep in the bedroom right now. Oh, that's funky. Look at that. I made an axis on the wall, but so it's connected it with like an invisible line from here to the wall, and so it spins in a circle. That's kind of cool. I like how it goes right up against the wall like that. It almost holds itself in place. That's kind of neat. Huh. Yeah. So what should we build? Well, when I was envisioning doing this video, I was thinking of making some sort of monster, like some sort of beast. So we could make like a mouth with some teeth maybe, and like a jaw that opens and closes. That'd be kind of cool. So what could we do for eyes? What's some menacing eyes? I think these are perfect. Yeah, he's got two pupils, so you can see into the back of his eyes, where it's completely dark. So that's not a whole lot of use to him, obviously. Alright, so we got a couple of creepy eyes there. Yeah, it's already looking scary. Let's give him like 4 eyes. Yeah, he's got like 2 sets of eyes, like a half spider. Kind of like that. I apologize for the audio quality. Of course, my videos are never have very good audio quality, but this one might be even worse than normal. But, you know, whatever. And I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit, so my voice might sound a bit funny. Anyway, so what do you think? What do you think? We got the eyes here. Now we need eyebrows. Some sort of eyebrows. Like some big mean kinda. That could work, yeah. It almost looks like a giant cigarette. Or like the burnt end of a cig. If we were to put the rest of the pole here, I'll show you what I mean. And get some color on there. Color. Where's the color? Material? Material. There we are. No, that's not what I meant. Color. It is color. So if this was like red and this was white, and actually I will change the material on this one. Oh, not shiny though. No. That's trippy, but not at all what I was looking for. Wow, look at that. That's kind of pretty. It's like we're sailing on the waves. No, what I want is a texture that has just flat color, matte. You know what I mean? Why is it red? It must be like flesh. Well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Making a cigarette? Why? There, and ignite that. Because that's what a cigarette looks like. It's more like a, if anything, it's like a giant joint. Like a big old blunt. Although even that's a bit of a stretch. Let's chuck this into the sea. There she goes. Eyebrows. That's right. That's what we were doing. Sorry about that. I was just itching my nose. That's a bit big, maybe. Unless we want him to have, like, comically oversized eyebrows, maybe. Like, rah. Yeah, I kind of like that. Why not? We'll give him just ridiculous facial hair as well. Maybe some sort of beard. We can make, like, a beard out of ropes. That'd be funny. Alright, I'm liking that so far. How about a nose? I think he should have like a cute little round button nose. And kind of like contrast to the rest of him. He's got this teeny little button nose. Yeah, I like that. Now, of course, this only makes sense when viewed from the front. Otherwise, it just looks like a bunch of garbage. But that's okay. We can set up a camera so we always see it the way we're supposed to. Now, I was thinking for, like, teeth, like, these are obviously very thin teeth, but something like this could probably work. So if we were to take, you know, maybe 1, 2, 3... Oh, you know what? I wish I had the stacker add-on. In fact, I'm going to save this. How do I save? How do I save? Saves, options, disconnect, saves. Ah, God, that's bright. How do I save this? What? I'm confused. Oh, shit. I hope that doesn't mess up the recording. I'm using, sorry about that. I'm using, NVIDIA Shadow Play instead of my usual Bandicam, because on my girlfriend's computer, so don't have it downloaded. How the fuck do I save? Resume, start new, find multiplayer, add-ons, demos. Actually, maybe I can access it from here. That's fucking cool. Man, Gary's Mod's come a long way. I remember the days when you had to frickin' go to the Gary's Mod website and find the old man, I'm rambling. So anyway, we got the stacker tool. Let's see if it loads properly. Is it that easy? Stacker, I can't find it. Stack, no. Okay. Well, we might have to nip out to the main menu so that it reloads the the tools, but still, it's cool. Because before you had to, it was very manual. You had to go to the website. Warning, you're about to enable. Yes, confirm. Is it enabled? It is enabled. Yeah, it is enabled, but it's still not showing up. But I don't want to lose my my progress. How do I save it, man? I'm such a fool. All right, saves, my saves. Back to game, sandbox. Back to main menu. It must be somewhere in the queue menu. Saves. Here we go. Save game. It's so weird that, I mean, it is a bit weird. You gotta give me some credit. Sorry, this is a mess so far. Alright, so now we got the save. We can reload, and hopefully our stacker tool will be there. There's probably like a console command to reload tools, but I don't know what it is. There she is, stacker. So this tool is real cool. It's definitely one of my favorites. So you can set relative to whatever, but you can also set the direction and the count all the way up to 100. So if I were to stack 100 dressers on top of one another, that's what would happen. It's too many physics. So that's a bunch of fun. And it's really cool. Also, you can no collide them, you can weld them, and you can freeze them. So if I were to do, let's do a smaller number. Oh, and you can offset them. So, like, say you want them to clip into each other just a little bit, you can set the Z coordinate down just a little bit. Say like there, and then do it, and then boom! Now you have this weird snake-like monstrosity. Oh god, and it's glitching out a little bit. Anyway, if I were to do it again, show you, I might have put them a little bit too far together. But I mean, doesn't that look ridiculous? But also kind of interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of fun you can have with this. Let's set the Z coordinate up a little bit. Not that far. And we'll freeze the props in place as well. So there you go. You can see you got 20-something drawers all stacked on top of one another. And if you unfreeze, then they all come crashing to the ground. And I'm thinking something like this, for teeth-wise. It doesn't, well, I guess it doesn't really look like teeth. Maybe we can find something better. It almost looks like hair, if anything. Like, let's see if we can... Oh dear. But you know what I'm saying? Like something here, and here. kind of hair, like, maybe. Oh gosh, I need the unbreakable tool. Where's remover? Remove. Where the fuck are you? There you are. So it just sort of flops around. I don't know. Maybe we'll revisit that. Throw all that shit out of the way. Alright, so what can we do for teeth that's actually kind of menacing? I wonder. I tell you what, I like when you break a box. You get like these little jagged bits, and these could make for like some pretty good teeth. The problem is I think they despawn after a certain amount of time. But like, if I were to take the stacker to this, yeah, I guess that does work technically. Well, maybe they don't despawn. You know what? Let's give. Oh. That thing was like half transparent. I think it was in the process of despawning. Wow, look at that. I've never seen that before. That's so cool. So you get a sense of what's going on here. So the game knows when you're not, well, almost when you're not looking at it, and despawns off screen. but as soon as you turn to look at it, it pops back in. And it's slightly transparent, so there's some like subtlety to it, you know. Like I could be turning around, all of a sudden it's gone. But if I caught it out of the corner of my eye, I'd still kind of see it. That's clever. That's kind of slick. I like that. Anyway, so they do despawn, as a matter of fact. But something like this is what I'm looking for. And that won't despawn. And I don't think that these will either, because they're actual spawnable entities. So if we give it the old look away test, yep, still there. Okay, so we can do, let's say, something long for a jaw, like maybe this beam. Ooh, I'm a bit stuck. Yeah, like a steel beam. Will that be too big? He's got like a comic. Well, actually, that's pretty good. Pretty good size. Yeah, and we'll do that, and then we'll get that pointy bit where that was. Here we go. So pointy bit somewhere like here, and we'll go ahead and weld that on. Oh, I guess I didn't weld properly. I hope these props can be welded. Some of them are a bit fiddly. Oh, I just heard an alert sound. I hope that's nothing important. Hope the recording hasn't stopped for some reason. I'm like totally... I've never used the shadow play or the NVIDIA thing, so I'm just hoping that it's kind of working. Yeah, there we go. And so you see, if you view from here, that kind of looks like a tooth. And we can like vary it up a little bit as well. So we got like something like that, maybe something like this. Yeah, except I need you to stay still. There we go. So just like jagged and horrible, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm going for. Just like jagged and awful and scary. Yeah. For show, for show. My voice must sound, terrible. Even for me, this is going to be like grating on my ears. Nah, that's alright though. I'll try not to do what I was just doing there anymore. Now the trouble with these are, they are technically breakable, I think, because they're wood. Let me just test that out. So we want to be a little bit careful. You know, it's not really looking like teeth so much, but I mean, he is a monster made out of, like, debris, so I guess that works. Yeah, I like it. And we can maybe throw some paint on here as well. Let's see. So color. No, sorry. What is it? Paint. Here we go. And we'll do we'll get some bird poop on there. Because why not? And then, man, that's loud as well. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yellow blood. I was hoping for regular blood. Oh, excuse me. Noughts and crosses. Oh, wow, you can play tic-tac-toe. Blood, here we go. So we kind of... Yeah, give him like a bloody smile. I like that. Alright, now we'll no-collide these little bits with the steel beam. Like so. Boom, boom. And then we'll just bring these props forward just a hair. And maybe reposition them along the way. I'm doing that thing with my voice again, sorry. And... Oh, that's already welded. That's alright. And yeah, now we'll weld them in place, and we should be good for the bottom half of the jaw. Now, if you've never played Gary's Mod before, it's a good bit of fun if you like sandbox and just sort of messing around and being weird like I am. And I do like that. That's part of why I like this game. But I'll kind of try to explain the various tools as we go along. So one cool thing is, after you've made something like this, say, you can use the duplicator tool. Where is she? Dupe. And it will actually duplicate pretty much the entire thing. Paint included, I think. Yeah. So that is pretty awesome. It saves a lot of time, because like now I can just do that up here. He's kind of coming together, isn't he? So there's like the top half of his jaw, and there's the bottom half. Rawr, yeah, evil son of a bitch. He's gonna eat your kids. uh, this is so weird. So now I'm thinking he needs some sort of like big arms, kind of like monster arms, and I kind of have an idea for that. If we use the building materials here, we can use cylinders. Where are they? Cylinder. Here we are. So if we do something like, we can kind of make a composite arm. So if we imagine his body like coming out back here, that could be like part of his arm. But then we can have ball joints, or even whoa, that's humongous. That's almost like a body, maybe. How does that look if we put it back here? Well, we'll revisit that. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it, or burn that bridge when we come to it. And so I thought that they were actually like full steel balls. I guess not. But that's okay. We can use these half steel balls, and they'll accomplish the same thing. So if we just turn off collisions here using the C menu, and kind of, if we hold control while in no clip mode, we can fly a bit slower and get that guy on there. So now when we do another one, something like this, like the exact same, it'll kind of look more natural because it'll be connected to the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a joint. Not like the joint from before that we threw into the sea. Yeah, like that. So that's kind of like an elbow, is what I'm trying to get at here. So let's continue on. And instead of doing that, I will actually just use the stacker. And we can say that we want it to be in front, or maybe to the left, or right, maybe. Not quite. Behind? Yeah, behind, I think. And we'll want to reset this to 0. And then we'll want to move that slightly. Ooh. And set it to 1. So, stacker's useful for lots of things. And you also, with the C menu, you can adjust it with a smaller menu so you can see what you're doing. The stacker is useful for a lot of things, including when you just want to do like just one or two, and you can like even rotate and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Has a lot of uses. Definitely one of my favorite tools. And you can position things just how you want it. So we're going to say freeze and weld and no collide. And there you go. Looks pretty good. And I think we'll cap it off with a steel ball, and then we'll work on some fingers of some kind. Ooh, careful. So just disable collisions there. Throw the ball on there, kind of like that. Yeah, and then maybe he needs some sort of like hand, you know what I'm saying? Like a proper sort of thing for his fingers to come out of instead of just that ball. Like, maybe just another ball, but the other way around would work. Let's see. So kind of like that, maybe? I kind of like that. It's not quite right, though. It needs to be maybe like more of a rectangle, or like a square. Like a bookshelf for a hand, maybe. Or... not sure. Not sure. Maybe a car. Just like a full fucking car. Is that too big? Ooh. It's heavy. I like can't move it around. It doesn't. The car doesn't really fit with the rest of his arm. That's my only criticism. So maybe. Oh, I know. Like a boat would actually is kind of like the perfect shape, but upside down. Let's give that a try. Yeah, I kind of like that. It could be a little bit bigger, but it's all right. And then we'll do the fingers to kind of get our main point across. You just have like absolutely ridiculously small fingers in comparison. Like you can't even see them. No. So I'm thinking to make it kind of menacing, we'll want the fingers to have 1 point of articulation. So it's it comes up and then down. So we could use just some short steel beams for that probably. So kind of like claws, we'll have them come up like that. Like that. And like like this. Yeah, and then we'll do it once more so it comes down. I'm doing that thing with my voice again, sorry. Collide those like that. I kind of want it touching the ground though, so sort of like all the way down. Again, with the voice, I really do apologize. I'm not sure why I do that. I kind of like that. It doesn't really look like fingers, if I'm honest, but, could be worse, I guess. I'm gonna make them facing this way, at least. And then I'll give them a thumb, and that might help. Also, I'm gonna be changing the material on this to kind of make it look a little less janky. But I think we'll do that like at the end. Like in the painting phase. Yeah, that kind of works. I like that. So we'll make sure to weld those together. Weld and weld and weld and weld. Weld and weld and weld and weld. Weld and weld. And let's give our game a cheeky little save before we get too carried away. That way we don't lose our progress. And we'll want to weld that to that, and that to that. And that one should be welded. So, let's just see if it works. Yeah, kinda. I forgot to weld that part. So weld that to that. Brilliant. Alright, and now, here's where we're going to have to get a little bit creative. We'll have to do a duplicator. But, where is she? Where's the duplicator? There we go. We can do a duplicator, but the problem is it's not going to be facing the right way, obviously. Unless he has 2 right hands or 2 left hands. So we're going to have to throw this guy around like that. And then hopefully there's a way that we can unweld the boat. That did unweld the boat. However, it also unwelded the fingers. Not a huge deal. We can throw them back on there. I call them fingers as if they're anything more than some 3D rendered steel beams sticking out of a boat. It's all a bit serendipitous. I kind of like it. I was debating on what game to play tonight. I thought maybe more Dead Cells, maybe Binding of Isaac. Ultimately, I wanted a game where I could be a little bit creative, because I've been kind of having that bug lately, where I just want to like make some crazy art or make something weird, and this game definitely fulfills that. So I'm glad that I chose it. It's been fun so far. And we'll weld that to that, and that to that, that to that, that to that, that to that, and we should be good. Yeah. Pretty good. Alright. So what was I saying? Fuck, I can't remember. I just wanted to, I wanted to play a game that is a little more creative, and I was thinking like maybe something with drawing, maybe that draw guessing game or something, maybe. But in the end, I just decided on Gary's Mod for fun, and it's a game that I haven't played in too long, so it's kind of fun to get back into it a little bit. Yeah. So far so good. Ooh. As I was saying before, Gary's Mod used to be a little more niche and a little more difficult to download mods. In fact, a lot of my computer knowledge I've actually learned from messing around in Gary's Mod and actually trying to get mods to work, because you have to have some knowledge about how the game kind of goes together and the folders and stuff. So it was kind of my first foray into that, and I'm thankful because it has taught me a lot. So I'm kind of thinking about a body here now. Obviously this guy's pretty big, so body-wise we don't have a lot of options. We have to choose some sort of large-ish prop. I'm thinking maybe something like this. Maybe two of them side by side even. Let's see what that would look like real quick. If we just had like two, kind of looks like an ass. We could call him Ass Face. I kind of like that. I mean, it's alright. Yeah. What if we put it opposite wise? It kind of looks like a snail shell or something. And what if that was his face? Like this. Maybe. Look, we can make his nose even teenier. Man, I'm not really talking about too many interesting things, I don't think. I kind of need to like broach into my usual ramblings about like interesting stuff. Otherwise, I'll just find this video boring. But I guess I don't have a whole lot on my mind, really. So what to talk about? Well, I'll get back to you on that. I'll try and think of something. But anyway, so I'm not really sure about this. It's kind of hard getting something that I like here. Oh, that actually is kind of cool. I am kind of a fan of that. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. I like that middle, the pattern in the middle there. Looks kind of neat. And actually, I tell you what, we did work on this jaw, but it'd be real cool if these two like close together. Maybe we'll do that next time. For now, this is pretty good. Except I don't really like the fact that this is just a huge gaping kind of thing. Although I guess we could put the mouthpiece in here, kinda. And then that goes like rah 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 rah. Oh, careful. I forgot about the breakable wood. That kinda works. Kinda. Sheesh. I want something like... Oh no, you destroyed the teeth! You bitch! Oh, now he's toothless. He's just got the one little baby tooth. Oh shit. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Did I? No, I did not. I was like, did I disable collisions? No, I didn't. I just want something like holding up the back. You know what? Let's forget these pre-made things. Let's go with something a little more industrial. So let's just get a huge freaking prop from like the comic props or something. Like we could have them made of washing machines or something bigger, maybe comic props. We just have them made of freaking computer monitors. Why not? Ooh, like a carousel. That's creepy. Like, imagine this, right? Hang on, I'll show you. My my initial thought was to have that there, and then do a axis between this guy and the globe, like this. If I can fly in. Oh, whoa, where am I? What's happened? Oh. If I fly in here carefully and throw an axis on there. No, not quite. Not quite what I'm after. I tell you what. Oop. Oh dear. What the fuck is going on? Get out of the ground, silly. Well, never mind. We'll spawn a new one. But we can bring that out here, and that'll make it easier. So we'll do this and get an axis right in the middle, and put that right there. And that way, the final goal is not to have the nose spin, rather the Ferris wheel spin. Ferris wheel? Merry-go-round, even. So I have that guy there, and then you freeze the nose, unfreeze that, and then that guy spins around. That's a bit kind of creepy, maybe. Kind of like that. Let's get rid of this in the ground. Yeah, I'm kind of into that. It doesn't quite frame his face all the way, though. That's the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just this circle. We can't have the eyes actually coming out of it now, though, which is cool. Something like that. La la la. That eye needs to be higher. And we can add like thrusters and stuff to make it auto spin. I'm going to disable collisions here. There we go. Kind of like that. But the mouth, you see, actually, if the mouth were smaller, that would look pretty cool. But as it is, the jaw is a bit large, so we need something to kind of round out the face. Oh. Oh. See, I was picturing this thing to be huge, kind of like that big one. But it's just this teeny little thing, which kind of threw me for a loop. What is this? Some sort of like monkey bars, or like a pylon? I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, something to round out his face a little bit, maybe. Is any of these kind of big? Oh, that's huge. Like maybe if we just sort of disable collisions, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Almost like sideburns or something. Kind of like that, maybe. That looks alright. I tell you what, the mouth needs to be smaller. That's the vibe that I'm getting here. There's just no way to make this large mouth look right. Well, we worked hard on it. But alas, our efforts were in vain. So let's build a smaller one that can fit on the circle, because I'm kind of seeing the face now. We'll leave, you know what, we'll leave the comic eyebrows for solidarity. I was about to get rid of them, but they're kind of a part of his face now. So that guy spins around, but we need a smaller mouth. And you know what? These will make the perfect teeth. So I'm thinking just a smaller steel beam probably will be the easiest thing. Something like this, maybe? Is that too small or too big? You have that there, and then have another one, maybe a smaller upper lip, like that. That almost looks like a Hitler mustache. No, let's not do the big and small. Let's do the equal size. Like that. Like that, and then that guy, and blah, 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 blah. And that could work. That'll be good enough. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that guy there, and I am going to stack it to the left, or to the right. Let's get a few, and then we'll clear our offsets here. Just reset those to 0. Blah, 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 0. There we go. And that's, so right is actually back, so we want to do behind? Yeah. And that's almost right. We're going to want to freeze and no collide them, obviously. And that it actually only no collides it with the with themselves, so not with other stuff. So we'll just get them right about there, looking good. Now these are even sharper and a little more menacing, although a little more uniform, I guess. They're not quite as jagged and scary, but that's alright. Where's the remover? I can never find the frickin' remover. There she is. You know what? It seems like this game, despite its ridiculously silly nature, is actually... It requires enough of my brain power to where I can't talk about the stuff that I normally talk about in these videos. Which is interesting, because I wouldn't have thought. Oh shit, I think I welded that to the ground. Let's get rid of that. And they're not breakable. My bad. Remove. There we go. So now it's a little less uniform. It's missing one tooth. So there we go. Yeah. And they are sticking out of the bottom a little bit, but you know what? I don't care. Well, since they are uniform, let's go ahead and color them white. No? Is my transparency not? That's weird. It's like this color really isn't working. White? Oh, you know what it is? It's because it's not painting it white, so to speak. White actually shows up as transparent because it's applying like a colorized filter, basically. I wonder if we can change that by changing the render mode. Render effects, blah, blah, blah. Glow, maybe? No. Glow. Regular glow. Normal, we already tried. What about transparent? Alpha. I don't really know what any of these means. That's alright. So what could we have instead? Actually, I think if we just change the material, we could change it to a material that's white. Like that. That'll work. So we'll go in and carefully change each one of these guys like that. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know, I'm talking a lot more about the game than I usually do, because my brain's not, it's just not going into autopilot like it normally does. Because I guess this brain takes more of my game. Jeez. Gosh, my brain is melting right now. What am I doing? I'm legitimately like melting down right now. This isn't an act or anything. What the fuck? This game takes more of my brain power than I guess I realized. That's what I've been trying to say. Alright, let's find the paint tool. Paint tool, paint tool, paint tool, paint tool. There she is. And just splash a bit of blood all over this. Yeah. Awful. And then we'll duplicate it. So yeah, I was thinking about maybe switching to another game, because I'd like to talk about some more important stuff than just building whatever the fuck this thing is. So we'll see about that. Oh, okay. The teeth are colliding. I repeat, the teeth are colliding. That kind of sucks, because that means I'll have to no collide each one. But that's alright. Skin. Oh, you can change the skin. That's interesting. I didn't know that little fence parts would have multiple. If you notice here, there's a setting to turn off gravity. And that's one of my favorite. Oh, shit. Shit, 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 shit. Right through the chest. Crap. How do I exit out of this? Oh, there she is. So these guys are still colliding. Disabling gravity is actually a lot of fun. We might mess around with that later. Fuck! Why do I keep doing that? Oops. That's more or less no collided, yeah. Fucking hell. Grab the wrong thing. There we go. Freeze the nose, unfreeze that. And now I want to show you guys how I plan on making this mouth open and close, because that's kind of the main feature. So I think the best way to do it will just be a pulley. Maybe? No, not a pulley. Shit. So if we get a slider, basically, and we put a slider between here and here. Not quite what I was going for. I don't know, it's been so long since I've played. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the best way to do that is. Winch, you can make longer and shorter. I think that's what we're going to want. So we'll want really fast speed and 0 width. And so we'll just have a, what was that, 7 and 4? So we'll just have a winch on either side, which is invisible. Right, so now it's hanging by the winch rope. And I'll just add keep upright on there. And now it shakes menacingly as well. Jaw drop, jaw open, close. Oh, not quite working how I imagined. So let's figure something else out. Yeah. Let's turn off keep upright. We don't need that right now. Stop keep upright. All right. What is the best way to do this? I'm thinking maybe that is parallel to the ground. So if we just put a slider, 0 width, here, going to the ground, that now slides up and down, right, from the ground. And then all we need to do, really, is have a rope which has 0 added length, and we'll just connect that to the ground. That way it can't go any farther than this. And then for its open, we don't want the mouth to be able to open that far. We want it to be about there. So we'll put ropes here so that it doesn't go above that length. Like that. And now we'll just add thrusters. So if we get a thruster, we don't need anything super strong, obviously. So numpad 8 and 5, and we can make the thruster invisible, but for right now, we'll just have it normal. So, oh, looks like it's not quite strong enough. No, not quite strong enough. All right, let's increase the force. Oops. No, it's still not even budging. That's weird. It is it's unfrozen, right? Huh. Wonder why. Wonder why it's not going up. Like, what's the weight on this thing? I don't think I have a weight tool installed. So numpad forward and reverse, yeah. Huh. I don't know. I don't know why. I'll just add a bunch and see if we get anything. Oh yeah. Guess it just wasn't enough force. Don't know why. Anyway, we can turn it so that there's no sound effect and no fire. Although the fire is kind of cool, but I think we'll use that in a different area. So now 8 makes the jaws close. Rah, 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 rah. Yeah, I like that. And looks like this tooth is loose. Yum, 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 yum. Mr. Lova, Lova, La Lova. Yeah. That's a reference to another video of mine. Props to you if you get that. It's very obscure, certainly. I don't know who will be watching this who hasn't watched all of my stuff, though. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you've made it to this point in my career, you're clearly either A, me, which is the most likely, or otherwise very dedicated. I talked about that in my Dead Cells video. Shit. Fuck. I talked about that in my Dead Cells video. If you, for some reason, enjoy my videos, please let me know, and I'll buy you a beer, and we can hang out, because I really should get to know you. Yeah, so now 8 closes the thing. And you can see this guy's actually, he's kind of coming along. Quite fond of him. Quite fond of him. So now, really, all he needs is a body, and then we'll do some finishing touches, maybe. Oh, you know what? We can have thrusters with the old smoke effect coming out of his eyes, like this. Now it's like he's. Oh, you know what? We should have put that on the old blunt in the ocean. It's almost too much smoke, if I'm honest. Let's turn that off. How about just flames coming out of, like, oops, like the top of his head, like here, maybe. Rah. That kind of looks just stupid, if I'm honest. Alright, let's throw a body on this guy, and we'll kind of take a break there. Maybe find a different game to play where I can kind of relax more, talk about important stuff. So he could have, like, this long body, right? As like a train. I guess that'll work. It'd be like some sort of awful train monster. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So let's weld that to there, and then we can position his arm a bit better. And that arm is mostly fine, but I want to do that there. Oh. Get him like there. And a little bit down, looks like. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, like that. I like that. And then we'll just we'll do a bit of duplication, and we'll put some legs on the back. Doop 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 doop. Where is the duplicator? Oh. So we'll duplicate that boy. Dat boy. Hey, I'm so savvy, aren't I? I'm so hip with the kids. And that looks sufficiently creepy. Now I wonder if he should have 4 legs or like multiple legs, like 6. Like 6 maybe. That could be. I think I can fit an extra set of legs in there. Now I could have done the painting and stuff beforehand, but I didn't. So hindsight's a bitch. Anyway. I kind of like the way it looks, honestly. I might not change that much. So that's pretty scary. Yeah, I dig it. Let's just throw like a balloon on there, like up here. And what is that face? I don't remember that one. What is that? It looks familiar. It's probably like some weird meme. So let us weld these guys to the body. And we'll want to weld that to the body, 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 weld that to the body. Now, I just had a thought. I was gonna try at the very end. Listen, as soon as we unweld this guy, it's mostly gonna fall apart. But I at least wanted to have it move just a little bit to, like, make it a little bit scary. But the problem is the bottom jaw is essentially welded to the floor. So that's no good. But that being said, it'll be okay. I'll have to remove it and replace it. But I think for the most part, man, this is pretty good. I wanted to make a monster, and there you go. I have. So I'm gonna call it there as far as the monster goes. Except let's add a little bit of finishing touch. Bird poop, why not? But what I was specifically referencing is oh, so that's a knot, and the other one's a cross. I guess I could have figured that out, since I know what a cross is. But light, what's that? Where the fuck is it? There it is. Man, that looks weird. Okay, I like that though. I like that. All right, let's remove the bottom jaw, and oh my, oh dear, oh dearie me, oh no, oh no, oh no, stop this, stop. Look, dude, you're gonna have to. Oh, I didn't weld the jaw on. Oops. Weld. Where's my weld? Weld. And we're also gonna weld the merry-go-round. Okay. Hey, look at that. It actually moves. So now we can add thrusters. We're gonna make forward key something like 9. And we'll just add a bunch on his butt. Still not quite enough to move him. It's got to be pretty heavy, all of this combined props. Shucks, how many thrusters are we gonna need? Get that guy out of the way. He doesn't want to move, he's too heavy. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'm not gonna dick around with it. But yeah, so we made a monster. He does look pretty scary, to be fair. Oh, that was kind of scary. Holy shit. Oh my god. Now he's bouncing all over the fucking shop. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he's like a sea monster or something. Dun-dun. Dun-dun. I've come to take over the world. And then he, like, jumps off onto like King Kong, you know, goes and climbs the Empire State Building. Not quite enough flames coming out of his butt, unfortunately, to make him fly. Let's see if he can like scale this building. Oh no, his legs. So yeah, I mean that's pretty creepy. He's like scaling the building. He's tearing himself apart. The boats are breaking. His hands. But yeah, I kind of like that. Let's I got an idea. Let's add a camera down at the bottom. Numpad 0. We'll take him all the way down. Turn him around. And then we'll see this guy jump off. Where is she? Where is she? There she is. So, I mean, if this came at you, you know, in the middle of the, oh god, it's falling down backwards. Oh no. You know, I mean, I think that'd be pretty scary. So, I say mission accomplished. Whoa. Shit. Yeah, it's like a giant bug. I'm happy with that. I'll go ahead and save this, I guess, because why not? Save game. And I think my game crashed. Oh no, there she is. All right. Well, there's nothing really I want to do in Gary's mod. I'm gonna find a game that's a little less intellectual. I know that sounds ridiculous, but something like Dead Cells is mostly like muscle memory. So I'm gonna find a game like that, and I'll be with you in a second. Actually, I don't even have to stop recording audio technically, but video has just stopped, and I'm exiting the game. But that was fun. I think it turned out pretty well. So I wonder what I could play. What could I play? What could I play? Something that doesn't require a lot of focus. And that can install fast. That's important. Faster than light. I mean, that's fun. That's always fun. Something like Minecraft would be pretty good, if I'm honest. I don't know if Courtney has it installed though. Well, let's see. Let's see if she has Minecraft. If she does, I say we go for that. I'm not seeing Minecraft. Pooh. Something like Minecraft, I mean, that's nice and relaxing, you know. But at the same time, there's no real goal. So maybe something with a goal would be better. Maybe just Dead Cells. I don't know. Maybe Dead Cells. Dead Cells is fun. I'm not really feeling it though. I don't know why. I just feel like something else. I mean, maybe like Binding of Isaac. I don't know. Luftrausers? Hey, why not? Let's do Luftrausers. Because that's like real fast-paced, you know. I will have to use the mouse and keyboard. I don't have my controller handy, but whatever. Alright. So, welcome back. I finally decided on a game. It's going to be Luftrausers. I haven't played that in a while. But it was very easy to install. Oh my god. That was so loud. Oh, and escape apparently just totally exits the game. That's great. And get ready for loudness again. Oh my god. That is so loud. How the frick do I adjust that? Where's the settings? Oh my god. I finally found the frickin' volume control on my headphones because I don't know what the options menu is on this. I'm not even recording the video at the moment. Gosh, there's so many frickin' dials on this headset. I don't want to listen to my own voice over the headset. And I'm like messing with the bass. Oh my god, why is this so complicated? Alright, I think we're good. Gosh, what a frickin'... Alright, and I'm not even recording the video. Alright, recording now. Start. I'll have to sync it later in the menus. And I can still hear my voice out of this headset. Anyway, this is left browsers. You basically you have customizable planes, and you just try to get a high score. It's kind of like an arcade shooter. I figure it'd be good for playing while I talk about other stuff probably. It's got a good soundtrack, although I'll probably have turned it down so I can hear myself better. So, gosh, I don't know what to talk about. The only thing that I had set in my mind, right, and this is gonna sound weird. It certainly sounds weird to me, so I can't imagine what it sounds like to other people. But I've been wondering lately if I'm a psychopath. And I looked at tests online and stuff. And like some of the questions were like, did you ever abuse animals as a child? And like, no. Certainly not. And in fact, I care about animals a lot and stuff. And I was never really like cruel or anything. What made me think this is, and I'm not sure. I'm a little bit concerned because like I can't remember what brought it about, but I was thinking in the car and I was imagining like hypothetical situations and how I would feel, and so I died. But so this is the cool part of the game. Okay, it won't let me go to the hangar. I guess I don't have anything unlocked. Yeah, but once I unlock some stuff, I'll show you. But anyway, so like, I was just thinking, like, how would I feel? Like, you know, they had that whole like bomb scare in Hawaii. Like bomb scare. You know, it was the false missile alert or whatever. And I was just trying to think to myself, what would I feel like if Hawaii was actually nuked? You know, if everyone on that island died. Obviously, it would be a national tragedy. It would be horrendous. And we would respond in kind to whoever nuked us, obviously. Most likely North Korea, I imagine. And in that case, I don't think that a worldwide nuclear war would be imminent necessarily. I think it'd be more like Korea would get wiped off the face of the earth by us, and we'd be justified in that retaliation because of what they did. But gosh, I was just trying to imagine how I would feel knowing that all of those innocent people were just killed in an atomic blast. And I'm like searching my feelings, trying to feel like empathy, and I'm not really feeling anything. And I'm like, be honest with yourself. You really wouldn't feel anything if the entire state of Hawaii was killed. And I'm like, I really don't know. I mean, I don't think that I know for sure. unless it actually happened. And I definitely don't want it to happen just for me to find out. Like, I'm pragmatic at least. I know I don't want there to be suffering. But whether that's out of empathy for the creatures involved, or merely out of just maybe social conditioning, or just basic mathematics. Like, I don't know, it scared me a little bit, because like it got me thinking about other stuff, right? Like tragedies, and I don't know how to feel. Like, there's so much. It seems like there's so much stuff that goes on today that there's no time to feel sympathy or outrage or anything like this. It's like, oh, what's going on here in the game? I think we're unlocking the hangar here. So there's the mad scientist. So you get, in the hangar you can customize. Okay. In the hangar, I hate the UI in this, honestly. But in the hangar, you can customize different parts of your plane, so you can have a different body, a different engine, and a different weapon. So it gives your excuse me. It gives your plane a unique name based on what you choose as well, which is quite cool. So I just replaced our gun with a laser beam, so it kind of changes up the gameplay. And the movement and stuff, so you move a bit slower, and it's pretty cool. It's a good bit of fun. Anyway, what was I saying? So like, yeah, I just. So now we got a beefier body. We can equip that, give that a try. So now I'm like heavy laser beam. Gosh, man. There's no like time nowadays to feel sympathy for people. Or is it empathy? Either sympathy or empathy. The one where you're not experiencing it yourself, but you can, or the one where you can't necessarily relate to it, but you can like put yourself in their shoes, basically. Whichever one that one is. I think it's sympathy. And empathy is when you can actually relate on a personal level. But so like the most recent one I can remember is that train crash, and I have this guy at work who's into the news and stuff, and he keeps me abreast of all these terrible things that happen, and he's like, "Did you hear what happened yesterday?" And then he tells me about like the train that derailed and a whole bunch of people were killed, like 30 people or whatever. And at this point in my life and in the world, I was just like, yeah, that's a shame. But I didn't really pay it any more mind, and it didn't impact me at all. I mean, I know it sounds terrible, and believe me, it sounds terrible to myself, but I couldn't have cared much less. I cared a little bit, but not like, I don't know, it's just like, nowadays, those kind of things, they just get a passing remark. They're like, oh yeah, that's too bad, and then you move on. I mean, whereas, I don't know if it was different before, but for me at least, when something terrible like a school shooting, like the whole Sandy Hook thing, I remember I was in school when that happened, and it was just awful. I couldn't imagine what would possess someone to do that, or the whole Columbine thing. I mean, we still remember Columbine, but if Columbine happened today, it would just be one of many, and that's pretty freaking messed up. But again, I'm saying that it's messed up, and like, on what basis am I saying that from? Because it makes me upset? The horrible thing is, it doesn't really make me upset. Even picturing like those poor innocent children, like being killed, it's like I'm almost numb to it, which is terrible, honestly. I feel bad for feeling that way, but there's really nothing I can do to help that. And I try to put myself in their shoes. But anyway, so exploring that and trying to figure out why I seem to have a lack of emotion. Um, I started picturing grander scheme things, like the most horrible things that I could imagine, like some sort of nuclear war, and just trying to see if I could if I feel any kind of that remorse. Uh, so obviously, a train derailing and killing 30 people is a far cry from a nuclear bomb going off and 30 million people dying. As far as quantity of lives go, but there's some part of me um, that is, and maybe it's just because I haven't experienced that kind of tragedy myself. Because, like, God forbid, someone that you know or someone that you loved was involved in a tragedy, and I'm here speaking as if I don't care about you at all. I do care about individual people's suffering. I think the disconnect for me comes from death versus the people suffering when people die aren't the people who died. It's the people who are left, who have lost those loved ones. So I don't feel that sympathy for the people that have died because they're not suffering, for the people that are injured, I feel sympathy for, surely, but in like nuclear war, really the only people that are left to suffer is everyone that's left in the aftermath. And I guess that's obvious, but it kind of makes you think. So maybe I'm not a psychopath. Maybe I just realized that. Because, like, if you're dead, then you're dead. Like, who cares? Whether you cease to exist, or you go on to heaven. Either way, you're not going to care about how you died, I don't think. Because I don't see how it would make a difference in either circumstance. And so bearing that in mind, it's like, really the people who are dead don't suffer at all because they're already dead, So like why feel remorse for them? I don't really. But so here's the thing: when I picture someone losing their loved one in a tragic event like that, that's when I start getting those emotions. My heart starts to hurt a little bit, and it starts to make me think about what would happen if I lost somebody that I loved, and so I can kind of feel sympathy or empathy by doing that. So maybe I'm not a psychopath. I don't know. It just kind of scared me. But so I'm coming to the realization that the reason that I'm like, how would I feel if the entire nation, I'm using this example, if Hawaii was wiped from the face of this earth and everybody, all those innocent people, all died? How would I feel the next morning? I would be scared for my own safety. Would I feel sorrow for all those lost lives? I don't think that I would. And at first that sounds horrible. But I wonder if it's because they're all dead. They're not worrying about the fact that they're dead. They were scared in the time before they died, but now it's they're dead. So like I worry about where the world goes from there. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, what is the loss compared to like millions and millions of years from now? Here's the thing. I don't think that we're insignificant. People like to say, oh, we're just one little speck on an infinite cosmic level. We're less than nothing, less than the smallest speck of dirt on the smallest little ant. And I don't think that that's true, because, for one thing, reality is based on perception. So my reality is my perception. My universe, effectively, is the things that I see, hear, smell, and experience. And I, incidentally, make up a large portion of that. So in my universe, my reality, I am a pretty big deal. Because I'm with myself, like, 24/7. And another thing, and I just recently had this epiphany. I was walking out in the snow, and it was getting dark, and it was a really heavy snowfall, but it was really pretty. It was nice heavy snow, and it was just pleasant to be out there. It was a little bit cold, but I was bundled up, and I was just taking a walk, enjoying kind of nature and stuff. And I thought to myself, man, we say that we're insignificant, but every little thing. Oh, this is like a faster engine, but it has worse turning. Huh, interesting. But I was thinking, every little thing that I'm doing right now, every step that I take, every movement of my hand, it is affecting atoms and particles millions and millions of miles away. Not all at once, obviously, but just think about it in the butterfly effect. One little change makes over a period of a long time can totally alter the change of history. Granted, I don't know what those changes are, but just think, if you weren't here on this world, if you weren't here to do that one thing, then a million years from now, something wholly different it might be a completely different reality based on what you did. And the thing that I kind of realized that I think makes that significant is because we humans have an actual choice. So, I believe in evolution and everything, and I think a lot of the way that we act and behave are products of our evolution. But a human being has the mental capacity to make choices that are not evolutionarily beneficial. I mean, take depression, suicide, for example. That is not a self-preservation tactic. That is a disillusion with our society, to the point where you actually take your own life. I mean, if that was the norm in evolution, then those genes wouldn't have been passed on. You know what I mean? Because obviously they're dying. And I'm sure there's many other examples of counter Darwinian stuff. To where we make the active choice to be fat and lazy. I guess that doesn't apply too much, because we have the option to be fat and lazy, which our ancestors probably would have taken as well, because when there's an abundance of food, you conserve that energy. So that is evolutionary. But I'm sure that there are other examples. And we do a lot of things because of our smarts that are counter to the whole survival of the fittest thing, I think. I can't really name any examples off the top of my head, I'm afraid. I'll have to think about it some more. But I think that level of cognizance gives us the unique ability, maybe not unique, maybe dolphins, some other higher organisms have this ability too, but to make conscious real choices, like free will, is what we're talking about. I think that's really cool. I can decide to move an object in 3D space. I think that's really significant if you think about it. Think about like a cat or a lesser organism, really. Or moving even further down the tree, like just think about objects without sentience, like just atoms and stuff. Well, even like a cat can't really make a choice. Well, I don't know cat anatomy, but what I'm trying to say is a basic organism can't make a free will choice because they don't have that mental capacity to do that without reason. What I'm trying to say is, so we got some new guns. Looks like. Let's try that out. Scatter shot, cool. So the thing about that is, fuck, what was I saying? It's like, I don't think that a cat really has the ability to decide, or a lesser organism. I'm not saying that cats are dumb necessarily. I don't know them well enough. But a lesser organism can't choose because their actions are based solely on stimulus from their environment, right? So they see, they hear, they smell, therefore they act. Whereas with humans, I don't think that we are that way. I think that we have the mental capacity, whether you believe in religion or not. I just think that, from an evolutionary perspective, it's our large brain that allows us to. From maybe a spiritual perspective, it's our soul, you would say. But in either case, I think it's unique that we are able to make decisions not based on our observations, but on our internal thoughts. So we could spend the entire day in a dark closet, and we could decide to do something that doesn't relate to our surroundings. We could decide to think about a certain thing or imagine a certain thing, be creative, create stuff, things that aren't necessarily based on, that aren't reactionary stimulus. And even if those choices are based on memory, so like, some might say, well, creativity is just rearranging all your memories. Well, yeah, but still, it's still a unique choice to rearrange those memories in that way and to access them. Basically what I find amazing is your brain has inputs, right? So it inputs data from your eyes, your ears, and it's great at making decisions based on what it sees and hears, and so do all organisms, really. And that's because of millions of years of evolution, right? But what I find really neat, and what I don't fully understand, is how do we consciously make a decision to send electrons in a certain way, to say think about a certain thing. Like if I want to think about an elephant wearing a leopard print scarf with pink sunglasses and a little fez and all of those things, I can picture in my mind. I can see it in front of me. I can imagine it. And I'm just wondering what part of my brain allows me to access that stuff, pull it up, and visualize it. Like how have I made the decision to do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not random. I decided to do that. And like maybe there's a counter argument to that. Maybe it's not random. Maybe it's based on what I've seen today or seen last week or what I've had on my mind or what I'm talking about. Maybe it's based on my little airplane there looks kind of like an elephant or something. I don't know. But I mean, you could take that a step further. Like, what if I want to think of something wholly new, like a new animal? Well, I could picture something like why don't we say like a slug that can, but it's not a slug. It's a being comprised entirely of water that holds itself together, with
with some sort of like gelatinous substance. It has like cells that are like 90% water, but it solidifies it using some sort of like self-made gelatin structure, and it gets nutrients from by I don't know, but you see what I'm saying? If I had the time to like sit down and think about it, I could create an entirely new creature. And maybe it's based on like science fiction and stuff that I've seen, but where did like the first ones come from? I guess they'd be like adapted from the things that we have seen in nature. So nothing is like wholly unique necessarily. But still, the fact that I've chosen to rearrange my memories and stuff in that way is fascinating to me. I don't understand how it works, but I think that it is it's indicative of some sort of significance. It's like, and bearing that in mind, I like I was trying to say, man, my main point is a cat could look at a box, and it's not going to do anything with that box. It's going to maybe sit in it for warmth or for comfort, or it might push it around to play, and like, you know, based on survival instincts. But if I were to look at that box, I could say that is a 3D object in my 3D space, and I can choose to move it to another corner of the room. I could choose to set it outside. I could choose to bring it across the country, or to dismantle it, to destroy it. I could choose to burn it. I could choose to do all sorts of things with it. And I know, I mean, it's just a box. You know, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal to me is I have a choice in those objects' fate. You know, nothing about my evolution is telling me to move that box or to do anything with it. But I am consciously, as a smart human, making enough connections in my brain to make that decision to move it. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because we make decisions every day regarding a bunch of different stuff: where we go, what we eat, how we drive, you know, what we do with our lives. All of that is all of those decisions, man. And think about the average human life is like 80 years. On a cosmic scale, sure, that's probably like, you know, a fraction of a second. Fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second. Very small. But those choices have impact for the rest of existence. You know what I mean? It's like, it might, in the very end, it might only amount to a few molecules to the left, but in the end, you still had an impact. I think that's crazy. And the impact, you know, so picture, instead of picturing time, you know, picture the universe as 4 dimensions. So all moments exist at once. Yes, you're a very small part of that whole, but the things that you do affect a greater portion of the whole. And all those little choices you make by choosing to put that box outside, the butterfly effect. I mean, and it's just basic, like, common knowledge and just common intuition that one little choice, one little thing could have profound impact down through history. And it's exponential growth too, because as one choice leads to more choices, it influences more and more and more. So really, our reality is determined by these choices that we make, either actively or passively. And I think that's cool as hell. And in that way, I don't think that we're insignificant at all, especially considering, you know, like I said, I'm the master of my own universe here. Like, in my universe, I see myself all the time, so I'm a huge portion of it. And that's even not including the fact that, you know, all the choices that I make, everything that I do is going to have profound impacts for centuries, eons, you know. And no, I won't be around to see them. And no, I don't know what they will be. And yes, in the long run, they will probably be insignificant. But they're there, and that's my mark, you know. You don't have to be Abe Lincoln or any famous person that will have a mark in history. Because let's be honest, like, yeah, we'll remember Abe for a long time to come in human history, but in a million years, I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows what could happen to humanity in that time. But so Abe Lincoln's stuff is gonna. I mean, even as an amazing person as that, who everybody knows now, in a billion years is going to be reduced to little more than the decisions that he made and the consequent actions of those. You know what I mean? So, and that's the same for everybody. So, like, if you're worried about your life, right, being like insignificant, like I'm never going to make a mark on history, well, in the cosmic scale you really are. And it's kind of ironic because, like, the more we picture how small we are in the universe, the more insignificant we feel. But in fact, in four-dimensional space, really the more universe that there is, and the less big we are in that universe, the more chance we have to make those long-lasting changes. Because the longer it goes on for, then the more it exponentially grows. My little choice today could, who knows? I mean, it could change things profoundly in a billion years from now. And I don't think that it's important that I won't be around to see it. All I'm saying is, as far as human accomplishment goes, and this ties back into my main point about death and stuff. So, human accomplishment will be lost to the eons, lost to the stars, lost to entropy. Human accomplishment, human death too, human lives, they'll be lost to entropy. Their decisions, however, will remain. And even those that die young, even those that were only out of their womb for a day or two, they still have those decisions that they've made. Not as much as like a fully grown adult, obviously, but they're, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, it might just be one molecule to the left. So really, that baby had about as much impact on history as Abraham Lincoln did, in the cosmic scale wise. So bearing that in mind, how am I meant to be upset about a few deaths? You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me on a spiritual level. For one thing, the people that are dead don't know that they're dead, so they're not worried about that. And for us, as another thing, it's like they've already done what every human is going to do. They've already made the maximum impact that any human on Earth can do. They're not insignificant, like I've said, much the opposite. But they're no more or less significant than any other person, even if they've died young or early. So really, the whole feeling sorry and the sympathy thing is more for our current state. It's for us. It's not for the dead people. It's for the people thinking about, the people who've lost a loved one. That's who I really sympathize with. But even that. So yeah, that suffering. That's what I sympathize with, because that's something that can affect lives that are currently happening. And like I said, as far as everyone's personal universe goes, they're a pretty big deal, and so their thoughts and feelings make up a huge portion of it. And I mean, in my ideal world, everybody would be happy. I mean, I think that's most people's, right? But I wish that everybody could be happy. I mean, that's really the end goal for humanity, right? Is for us all to be happy and healthy. So obviously, when people are suffering, I can sympathize with that, and I can empathize on a certain level too. And so that's where I feel the pain. But when it comes to the actual deaths of people, I guess I don't feel that sadness, that sympathy. Like even if it was the entire planet Earth, I mean, it's bound to happen eventually. You know what I mean? Whether it's by nuclear war or a billion years from now with the sun blowing up, it's bound to happen. Whether we get out there to Mars and colonize other planets or not could mean little to me. I mean, it means very little to me. And on that topic, like the whole species preservation thing, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. That's one thing that bothers me. So, you know, we have like a bunch of these animals in captivity, and like the special white tigers and the special things that are nearly extinct, and they're all caged up so that we can preserve their DNA. But why? Why? I don't understand. Yes, it's unique DNA, but why keep that animal in captivity? What is special about retaining that? I don't understand it. I don't understand what is special about holding on to that DNA, to that animal. I don't get it. With the whole seed vault, I do understand that. That's for agricultural means. That's for, you know, if our planet does get nuked, we might need those seeds. But with the animals, I don't know. They don't serve a purpose in nature, surely, because they're not in nature. There's not enough of them. So why have them suffer in a cage in a zoo? And I'm against zoos in principle as well. Even I mean, there are great zookeepers, but there are also shitty zookeepers. And honestly, I think that the good zookeepers out there who love their animals would stop being a zookeeper if it meant the end of, you know, animal cruelty. So why not just get rid of all the zoos altogether? And what is the purpose of preserving these endangered species? I just don't get it. Like, unless there is some sort of environmental impact that I'm not considering, which there very well might be, and feel free to elucidate me, because I'm curious. You know, maybe they do serve a profound purpose in nature that I'm just not considering. And maybe we want to hold on to them so that we can reintegrate them into the wild later on. I don't know, honestly. But as far as just preserving the DNA, I don't really see the importance of that. It's like, I mean, you could just write down what their genetic sequence is if you didn't want to forget it. I don't know. And yeah, they're beautiful. And yes, I respect them as an animal. And that's part of why I don't agree with it. I don't want them to be in cages. They don't know that they're the last of their kind. They don't care. They just want to be free and have a nice life, you know. They're not there to preserve their ancestors' DNA. I don't really get that. I don't get DNA preservation. And that applies to humanity as well. Why is it so important for us to continue on? For us to be interstellar? I don't understand, honestly. That doesn't resonate with me. Maybe I'm missing the point, but it's like, if humanity is eventually going to be wiped out in whole, regardless of whether we go to another planet or not. So what's the difference if it happens today or tomorrow? You know, the thing is, we're gonna be long gone by the time we colonize the stars. So, like, why are we worried about colonizing them at all? Now that being said, I'm not opposed to scientific discoveries I mean, as far as colonizing the planets go, I think that's freaking awesome. And the whole the launches with SpaceX recently was really cool. And I wholeheartedly support that. But would it bother me on a personal level if humanity never got to that point? No. I don't care that there's humans in the world, that there's our specific DNA strand. I don't really get the importance of that. You know, we're here. We've been here. And like I said, our impact, while there will be one, whether you've lived a day or 1,000 years, your overall, you know, the impact at the very end of everything, well, honestly, at the very, very end, where maximum entropy, I don't think it'll matter at all, because it all goes to the same end point. So maybe we are insignificant after all. No, I'm just kidding. Here's the thing. I don't know how the universe works. I don't think any of us do. If you do, feel free to leave a comment. Um, but I don't know. I think we're the big picture is a lot bigger than us. I think that we have a big role to play in it, and I think that our individual universes are significant to ourselves, absolutely. But I don't see how that extends outside of, my personal universe does not include people 1,000 years from now colonizing Mars or humanity as a whole. I consider myself a human, obviously, but the preservation of humanity, I guess I couldn't really care less about, because like it's gonna end eventually. So like, why does it matter? And I'm not gonna be around to see it again. So why does it matter? And as far as legacy goes, like I might have kids, and my kids might have kids, and we might have 100 generations, or 1,000 generations, or 20,000 generations. But again, in the end, it's gonna end up with it's all gonna end the same. And I don't find that depressing either. I find that I just find that that's a part of the reality that we live in our three-dimensional space. And it's basically already happened as far as the four dimensions are considered. And the whole concept of cause and effect is exclusively a third-dimensional being construct. Because like to a fourth-dimensional being, all that ever is already is, and all that ever was is as well. It's just there. It's as if it was a 3D space to us. So like all of these concepts are kind of a mute point to somebody like that. And bearing that in mind, like it's kind of a mute point to me as well, because I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care about humans surviving, because I know that it's gonna end eventually. And bearing that in mind, like as far as disasters go, yes, I do mourn for the here. So here's the duality here. Ultimately, we are headed to the same place, which is inevitable. But we still live in our day-to-day lives, and we still have our own realities through our perception, through our amazing perception, through our brains, our memories, our creations. All of that's so amazing and so fascinating. And that's something to be marveled at. And thoughts and feelings and love and creativity. So I guess my point is, enjoy those things while you have them. And my sympathy goes out to the people who are suffering, who are currently suffering. But my sympathy doesn't go out to people who are dead, and to humanity as a whole, because inevitably we're all going to die. So yeah, I guess the point is, there's that duality there. There's the overall we are significant. Individually we are significant, but overall we approach the same end. So we're significant in our day-to-day lives, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing really changes. Maximum entropy, but all that ever is already is. So we already take up our chunk of that reality. And who's to say who we really are? Are we merely the certain collection of atoms and molecules at this very 1 second? Or are we something more? Who's to say, really? I don't think anyone can say for sure. And I don't see how atheists can be so sure that we're, alone in this world, that we don't have a soul. Because, like, what about dark matter and all that shit? What about, like, the 90% of the universe that we haven't discovered? And I'm not talking about observable universe. I'm talking about, like, antimatter, shit like that. Like, we don't know what it is, because we can't even observe it. So to completely rule out that there's a God, that there is a soul, that there is life beyond death, I think is foolish. Um, I think that we should speculate on those things. You know? Yeah. And gosh, I don't know. I do have sympathy for people. And it hurts my heart to see all of these tragedies, you know. And it's kind of conflicting for me, and I don't quite know how to put it in words. At the one time, I am remorseful, even for those people that have died, and the society that we live in. And at the same time, I know that ultimately it doesn't make a difference. So, like, do I care or do I not care? I don't know. It's hard. It's something I'll have to think about a bit more, I think, because I don't really know. I don't really know for sure. I do care about people, though. I hate to see people suffering, and you know, if I can alleviate that suffering in any way, then I gladly will. Here's the thing. Ultimately, for me, what is the meaning of life? What is our purpose? I guess I do get the whole preservation of humanity, because for some people, their purpose in life is making an impact that will last for generations, and having people remember them, and changing humanity for the better. And so they want humanity to go on because they're the people that are carrying their legacy. For me, it's not like that. I feel like my purpose is to have a good time, to love, to feel, to enjoy things, to enjoy the beauty of nature, to have fun, play video games, explore things, and just have a good time, you know? I don't think it's about leaving a legacy, because, like, again, ultimately, legacy-wise, it's not going to matter. So to me, the important thing is in our day-to-day stuff. So that kind of makes sense with the whole, seeing these tragedies and stuff. I don't mourn for those people that have died, but for the people whose lives have been affected by it, who have lost their loved ones, they don't get to see them anymore. And that makes them sad, and that really puts a damper on their life. And that sucks, because I think, like I said, I think that a big part of life is just being here to enjoy it, I think so. I think so. And maybe that opinion will change. I'm not sure. I mean, ultimately, what is the purpose of life? Like, it's kind of hard to say. Right now, for me, it's just to try to enjoy it while I have it, Yeah. Whew. Well, these are heavy topics. See, it's like, with this game, I'm totally just zoned out and thinking about stuff. Whereas with that Gary's mod, I was like, focused entirely on the game. It's kind of funny. I mean, we're talking about vastly different things here. Gosh, what else could I talk about? I'm thinking about calling it quits here pretty soon. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I guess I've alleviated my fears that I'm a psychopath, kind of by talking through it, so that's important. Glad I did that. Fuck. I could talk a bit about Fallout. I've been working on some mods for Fallout. Fallout 4, actually. And it's been fun. It's been real fun. If you don't know, Fallout 4 is a relatively easy game to modify because of the creation kit. So, kind of gives you access to the basic sort of game files, and you can edit them and stuff. And it takes a bit of experimenting, because it's not plainly obvious, but you can make some pretty cool stuff. My current goal, my current project, and I've just been messing around with it maybe an hour or two every day, or, well, not every day, but here and there. My current goal is, it's hard to describe exactly, but I felt like in a lot of games, Bethesda games especially, the role-playing aspect is fun, but my point is, in Skyrim, there's no reason to go into an inn, sit down, and have a beer. There's no reason to sit down and eat or to cook, really. I mean, certain foods do give you, like, health bonuses and stamina and stuff. But really, there's no reason to go into a place, sit down. There's no reason to use any of the chairs or the furniture, you know? And nobody really does unless they're really into role playing, because, and I'll tell you why, at least for me, I don't use them because it's a good like 10-second animation to sit down and to get back up, and like there's nothing to do while you're sitting there. So why even bother? Like, just to role play? Oh, my character's tired, I'm gonna sit down. I just think that's so lame. Why is the animation so laborious? Now, okay, so imagine instead of you laboriously sitting down, if you're coming home, like after all your quests and stuff, and you want to sit in a chair, you can just flop down there in a couple of seconds, like it is in real life. Not this laborious, third-person view. I'm going to pirouette around on my left foot, slowly sit down in the chair, and then into first-person view, and now I'm sitting down. Okay. No, like, what if you could just... Excuse me. What if you could just flop down in there and maintain the view that you're in? So if you're in first person, you know, you just spin around and sit down. And the other thing is, it should give you some sort of, like, unique like maybe not like a buff, but like some interesting UI or some interesting story changes. Like maybe sitting down at a bar could get you access to more quests, because like some people would like talk to you, engage you in conversation, or like you could overhear some things or something. You know, there has to be some sort of kind of incentive. That's not really what my mod is though. My point was, I really like the way that they did stim packs in Fallout 4, right? Because before, you know, you just choose the stim pack in the menu and then you get your health back or whatever. But in Fallout 4, you actually inject the stim pack into your chest. And you can see that, and it's a cool little animation. And I thought that was really cool. And it's a little more realistic too, because like in combat, obviously, you're not going to be pulling up a menu, selecting a bunch of healing items, and then you're right back into combat. No, you need to, when you need to heal, you know, you need to take cover for a couple of seconds. So I wanted to do the same thing, but with drugs and with alcohol and stuff, because a lot of the character builds that I've done have relied on a lot of consumables, so like beer, various kinds of alcohol to buff your strength, and various kinds of chems to slow down time, increase damage resistance and stuff. I just think it would be so cool if you had just a quick little animation, nothing laborious. And so here's the thing, I've been looking on Nexus and stuff. There's this cool mod called Drink a Beer that lets you have a beer, so you can actually see your character drinking. But the animation takes like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It's like, I don't want to sit there looking at my character drink a beer. That's not the point. I want to feel like I drank a beer. Like the character that I'm playing drank a beer, not watch somebody else drink a beer. I want to feel like I did it myself. And I think the only way to do that is to have it be quick and kind of dynamic. So while you're in combat, you push your hotkey for your beer, and you pull it out of your pocket real quick, and you take a quick swig, and you can still move around while this is happening. So, you know, you could duck behind cover and have a quick drink. And the thing is, that works for role-playing too. Because if you were in like a bar or something, and you wanted to like blend in with the crowd and have a beer, you can just drink it right there on the spot. You know, you don't have to sit down, you don't have to wait through an animation, and you can just kind of feel a part of the action, you know. And I think it's important to make it quick, like no more than 2 seconds or so, where you take a little swig, take, you know, a little chug, like kind of just like the stim pack animation. And for drugs and stuff too, I just think that'd be so awesome. If like for mentats, you know, you pulled out a thing of mentats and you actually took one, and you actually got to see this stuff. And for food, I think food would be awesome too. Um, and obviously, it sounds like a big undertaking, because that's a lot of custom animations. And you're right. But I've been learning how to do the 3ds Max and stuff, and I've been trying to figure out how to import them into Fallout, and I'm getting close. I've got the Havoc tools and everything, so we'll see how that goes. And you might be seeing some mods from me eventually, if I can figure it out. But my main goal is I love that dynamic ability that and it really adds to your immersion, because like I could if I'm damaged and I want to eat to heal, I can actually pull out, because they have models for this stuff. They have for all the food and stuff, it's modeled, but guess what? You never see it. You never see it except when it's like sitting out and you pick it up. But most of the time it's either in a container, or you cook it, or it's just sitting in your inventory until you take it. How cool would it be to actually, when you eat an iguana on a stick, you pull out a stick with iguana on it and you chow down, but really quick. You kind of like a rapid corn on the cob, or you just like stuff your face with cheese. I just think that'd be so cool, and you wash it down with a beer. I just think that's awesome, and I think that there needs to be more incentives for that kind of role playing thing too. So like, say you did drink a beer in a bar. Maybe you get like a bit of a charisma buff or something, because you're kind of like blending in with the crowd, or doing certain things in certain places. I haven't thought about this very much, so I can't give you too good of ideas, but I just think it'd be cool to add some of those role playing things, but in a less cumbersome way, and in a more kind of fluid, dynamic way. You know what I mean? I think that'd be real cool, and I'm gonna try my best to do what I can to further that venture. So we'll see. I've had a lot of fun just messing around in 3ds Max so far. It's been pretty cool. Honestly, I wish I'd known about it before, because like for drawing and stuff, it's pretty cool. You can add like custom lighting effects, and as long as you have the biped skeleton, you can it's really easy to pose it in any way that you want. So if you wanted to draw a character in a certain pose and like get all the shading and stuff right, oh, cool bombs. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. It's a lot of fun. And I'm not very good at 3D animation because I literally just started, but we'll see. Hopefully I get better. And maybe I'll do the legwork, get some of those custom animations in to Fallout. That'd be pretty sweet, I think. And if you're interested in modding, Fallout, Skyrim, that's a great place to start, because the creation kit makes a lot of things easy. If you want to do your own custom weapons, that sort of thing, it's not as hard as you think. You can a lot of things can be done just by cloning assets that are already there. So, like, say you wanted a custom sword, all you'd have to do is take the model that they already have, clone the object ID so that it exists in the game, and then edit the texture, edit the NIF file, and you'll have to look up how to do that. But it's not terribly hard. It's a little bit time consuming. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot along the way, so it's definitely worth doing. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, man. Something to consider. Modding's fun. I've talked about this in a different video of mine, but I did a different mod for Fallout 4 with for brewing alcohol. Brewing whiskey, and what my favorite part about that was, like I mentioned before, you can do a lot by just reusing assets that are already in the game. So I made a little brewery type of thing, and all I did was I took the water tower, or it's like those railroad You know how the railroad has towers that like fill the trains with water or maybe coal or fuel? I'm not sure. But it's basically like a little mini water tower with a pipe coming out of it. Well, I took one of those, I shrunk it down, I added a little I added some hoses, I added like a little conveyor belt, and then just some sacks around it for like decoration to make it kind of look like it's the kind of place where you throw the raw wort, whatever it's called, into to ferment to make whiskey, and it looked pretty good. And I just thought it was cool because I made it myself, but with things that were already textured and made in the game. But I made it look kind of cool, you know. And then it's just a basic matter of a little bit of scripting and stuff to make it so that if you put basically the way that the mod worked was you could put I'm itching my ear so my hand's off the keyboard. I'm just bobbing up and down. Oddly enough, I'm doing better than I would have if I had been in control. What was I saying? So, bobbing up and down. No, Fallout. The way that it worked is you could take wheat, go to a cooking station, and it was pretty basic. I mean, you just convert the wheat to wort, basically. You put the wort in the distillery. You wait a little while, and then with bottles, you can make bottles of whiskey. And for my character, which was high strength, I relied a lot on alcohol, and so I needed a way to have that reliably. And so I made it. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I saw where the game needed something that I needed, and instead of just spawning it in, I actually made a way for myself to get it. And I didn't publish it or anything. It was kind of a sloppy job, but I had a lot of fun making it. And the odd thing is I didn't end up actually playing with it. After I had done it, I kind of got bored with Fallout and switched to some other games for a while. So, such is the life of the modder, I guess. After I make all these custom animations for like drugs and stuff, I'll probably give up Fallout 4 for a while again. So I'll never even get to see it. Sadly, but and here's something interesting, and this kind of threw me for a loop, but those animations already exist. Can you believe that? So just today I was contemplating on how I'm going to make all these things, you know, because that's a lot of work, and I came across all these idle animations for doing drugs, for all the different kinds of drugs. Oh wow, I got a lot of I thought I got a lot of points. I didn't really. Anyway, so the nuke explodes on impact, and the underwater engine lets you go underwater. Cool. My favorite gun is the cannon, but I haven't unlocked that yet. So yeah. But yeah, the animations are already there, but the player doesn't do them. So lame, right? And some of them don't really work in first person. Maybe that's why. I think they're meant for NPCs. But still, it's like, man, I want to do those animations, and they do need to be sped up just a little bit. But most of the work is already done. I could just speed up the animation by about 50%. And then maybe tweak them a little bit to work in first person. My job's pretty much done. And then getting them to work when the chem is used. That's a little bit hard. Now, I thought it would be pretty easy because basically stim packs do exactly that. So when you use a stim pack, it triggers the first person animation, right? So I figured all you have to do is clone the in the animations folder, the stim pack has an animation called first person stim pack on self. I figured all I have to do is clone that, change the potion from stim pack to beer, vodka, Med-X, whatever, and then change the reference to the animation file that I make. And I thought that it would be that easy, but apparently not, because I can't get the animations to play at all. Not sure why, but I'll have to do some more digging on that, and I'll let you know how it goes. If it turns out well, I'd like to make it available to people, not paid or anything, but at least available to download on Nexus. That'd be cool. So that's kind of cool. The nuke body, get to blow everything up. Yeah. So let's see. We talked about the meaning of life, potential psychopath behavior, Fallout 4 modding. Is there anything we missed? Fuck. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I've said everything that I want to for the moment. I wish I could make more, I wish I had more to say, because I love making these freaking things, and I especially love watching them. But I'm gonna stop recording the video now. So, it's a real privilege for me to make these things. I hope you know that. Myself, I'm talking to myself here. And that's why I do it. I do it for myself. So if you've watched this whole thing, as always, contact me, please, because we need to get to know each other. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I hope my voice hasn't been, too grating. That Gmod video should be interesting to watch, but I think far more interesting will be, the Luftrausers. I wish I could have the Fallout, the gameplay of Gary's mod mixed with the audio from the Luftrausers, but that's alright. Well, anyway, I better stop the audio here. Little message to my future self, I guess, because I don't want to stop talking here, so I'm wasting time. But I hope work's been okay. I hope you're doing well. Make sure to give Courtney lots of hugs and kisses from me. We need to show her a little more affection, I think. So, hopefully we've remembered that. And don't forget to do your taxes. Alright, buddy. I'll talk to you next time.